Never had one, sorry.
Wow. All right. Well, at least you have the courage to be honest.
Yes.
Here, we want to get to this. The year's coming to an end, and New Yorkers got a chance to celebrate by saying good riddance to 2025. People in Times Square were invited to write down things they hope to leave behind in the new year. When they were announced to the crowd, they were thrown into a garbage can. Mm-hmm. The annual Good Riddance Day event was inspired by a Latin American tradition to stuff dolls with objects representing bad memories and then setting them on fire. This is the follow-up to the Festivus poll.
Absolutely.
I like this. I think this actually works. So taking all that bad energy, putting it out there, and then just get rid of it. Throw it away.
You would hope that works. I hope it works too.
Yeah.
We all have good energy and bad energy, and sometimes you're just like, I got to get rid of this.
Right.
And that's what needs to go into the hamper, so to speak.
Look, 2026 is on the horizon.
Yeah.
All new beginnings.
I'll try
I'm here for it.
Focus on the positivity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Is there anything positive we can focus on weather-wise?
I would say today, being the mildest day coming up, at least as far as the 7 days concerned, temperatures heading into the upper 40s, and we're getting rid of more of the active freezing rain. Still slippery road conditions. However, into the afternoon, we'll start to see those cooler conditions winding back, and then the rain will taper off this evening as well.
All right, not too shabby. Then it gets cold again.
Yeah. A very chilly start to 2026, right?
Exactly.
I mean, well below freezing high temperatures. It's going to be very cold.
Oh, my gosh. All right, thanks for joining us here on WBZ. We continue on CBS News Boston, our free streaming service. On TV, CBS Mornings starts right now.
Now, streaming on CBS News Boston. This is WBZ News Mornings.
All right, very cold conditions as we begin here with icy roadways and more rain on the way into the afternoon.
Today's rain could cause major headaches for travelers in the air and on the roads. We've got an update from Logan Airport. And Drake May for MVP. We're breaking down his performance and the Patriots' first division title in years. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on this Monday, December 29th. I'm Chris Tanaka. Paul Eben is off today. We are in a next weather alert. After all of that freezing rain moved through overnight, it has left a mess on the roads. Alyssa Andrews is here to tell us when that's going to get a little bit better as that freezing rain becomes rain, Alyssa.
That's right. And so into the afternoon, we'll see that transition take place for more of the majority of us. And we're already starting to see those signs this morning with temperatures in the 30s and low 40s. So I would say the toughest part of the commute is going to be this morning for the icy and slick roadways. And that's why we're in the next weather alert. Later on this afternoon, we're going to take that red light and put it up to a yellow, because while we will be clearing out the icy conditions, we're also still going to see heavy downpours into the afternoon before that rain starts to taper off tonight. There's a look at our very active radar this morning. We're starting to see a bit of a break in activity towards the Cape, but as you get closer to the Boston area, now we're going to be limiting the additional accumulating ice. So as temperatures start to go a little bit milder for today, we'll see some improvements on our roadways. However, right now, still dealing with some foggy conditions outside as temperatures are right around 40 degrees in Boston, starting to brighten up a little bit. But once this rain passes through and the visibility begins to improve, we're also going to be talking about very windy and cold conditions once the system passes. Chris.
All right. Sounds good, Alyssa. Checking your travel times now. And you can see right now, heading into Boston, still pretty good from all directions. However, we do have an accident up in Windham, New Hampshire on 93 northbound. Also 495 north in the Merrimack Valley. There were multiple accidents earlier in the day, so please be aware of that as you head out the door this morning. Of course, all that freezing rain overnight could really complicate things for air travel as well. Going to be a busy day at Logan Airport. And so far, we've already seen dozens of flight cancellations and delays, not only because of the conditions here, but other airports across the country. WBZ's Samantha Chaney joining us live at Logan with the latest on what you can expect if you're catching a flight. Samantha?
Good morning, Chris. Well, you said it. You can expect it to be an extremely busy day here at Logan Airport. As you can see behind me, the security checkpoint lines, they are pretty long, and it's been like this all morning. This is really a continuation of what things have been like here at the airport all weekend. As of right now, FlightAware, this number is continuously changing, but it says that there have already been 33 delays at Logan Airport and 16 cancellations. And As I said, it's been like this all weekend, that number always changing as the weather conditions have been changing across the country. Now, Saturday, flights were disrupted when New England was covered with a blanket of snow, and then Sunday night, they were also delayed and canceled again as parts of the state experienced freezing rain and icy conditions. Now, this has been an extremely frustrating situation for a lot of travelers, but one in particular told me he has been trying to get on a flight home to Atlanta for 3 days.
Didn't expect it to be this bad. Been actually here this is the third time I'm here at the airport because of delays, cancellations. So I'm just trying to get home.
Oh, wow. Now, based on the lines that we are seeing here this morning and the number of disruptions that we're already seeing, and it's still so early, we can pretty much guess that it's going to be a busy day here at Logan Airport. So the best thing you can do is to plan ahead as always. Make sure you're getting here early to avoid any issues. Reporting live here at Logan Airport, I'm Samantha Cheney, WBZ News.
All right, Sam, thanks for that. And if you're traveling between Boston and Washington, D.C. on the train today, be aware you could run into problems with the Acela. Amtrak Northeast said on social media earlier this morning the Acela's 2151 between Boston and D.C. was canceled due to equipment unavailability. It says customers should rebook for the next available service. Well, a man is due in court today in connection to the death of a woman in Leominster last week. Police were called to a home on Union Street Friday afternoon. A man was arrested there after an hours-long standoff. When police finally got inside the home, that's when they found a woman's body. We're expecting to learn more when that man faces a judge. Well, foreign policy on President Trump's agenda this morning. He's preparing to meet with the Prime Minister of Israel in Florida a day after a sit-down with the President of Ukraine. Kamal Afzali joins us from London with the outlook on peace deals between Russia and Ukraine and Israel and Hamas.
Good morning, Chris. Well, the mood music in Mar-a-Lago was upbeat last night. Two leaders, once involved in a now unforgettable shouting match in the Oval Office, appear to have almost agreed on the draft of a peace plan. But the central parties to this deal are still Ukraine and Russia. And until they clearly align on issues as sensitive as territory, nothing is a done deal.
We have made a lot of progress.
New optimism from President Trump and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in what could be a final push to end the Russia-Ukraine war.
I really believe we're probably, Mr. President, by far closer than ever before.
One day after Russia rained down strikes on Kyiv, the two leaders sat down at Mar-a-Lago to discuss a revised 20-point peace plan. Zelensky says the US and Ukraine have 90% agreement on that plan, but territorial disputes remain a key sticking point.
Our society has to choose and has to vote because it's their land.
Before meeting Zelensky, President Trump said he had a, quote, good and very productive call with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Afterwards, the president told reporters Putin did not agree to a ceasefire during that call, but underscored his belief that Putin wants peace.
If things don't happen, they keep fighting and they keep dying. He doesn't want it to happen. President Putin doesn't want it to happen either.
Today, the Trump administration pivots to another pillar of its foreign policy agenda, the next phase of the Israel-Gaza peace plan. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is expected to meet with Secretary of State Marco Rubio and later President Trump at Mar-a-Lago. And in his meeting with Trump today, Netanyahu is also expected to bring up Iran after multiple attacks against its nuclear program back in June, notably by the US. Israel now fears Iran is rebuilding. In a newspaper interview published on Saturday, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian warned his country was now in an all-out war with the US, Europe and Israel. Kamal Afzali, WBZ News.
Well, today's your last chance to weigh in on two new proposals that could help Massachusetts residents impacted by property tax rate hikes. The state Senate and Ways and Means Committee is considering two bills to provide residents with some sort of financial relief. The first would allow cities and towns to offer tax shock prevention credits in years that residential property taxes climb more than 10% in the third quarter. The second would allow rebates for households that received a residential exemption in the previous fiscal year. Public comment on both bills can be made online until 5 p.m. today. WBZ is your home for the Patriots, who are now AFC East champions for the first time since 2019, thanks to the Eagles beating the Bills. Levin joins us in studio. And Lev, Drake May against the Jets, easy money.
Easy money. If you had him on your fantasy team yesterday, guess what? You're a winner. You know, sometimes one team is just better than the other team by a lot. And that was the case yesterday as the Pats opened up a huge can of WA on the Jets. This game was not close, and Drake May was almost flawless. To exit 16W, Pats and the Jets, New England scored on their first 6 offensive drives of the game. Ramondre Stevenson scored twice, one on the ground and the other through the air, wide open on his pass, 22 yards for a touchdown. Patriots led the break 35-3, and then they got another touchdown in the third quarter by Efton Chisholm III, the first of his career blowout. And the Pats, for the third time in franchise history, finished undefeated on the road. They throttled the Jets 42-10.
We want to go 8-0 on the road. That'd be something that we thought would be pretty cool. You know, in this league, it's hard to win on the road, and we accomplished that today. Just proud of the guys. You know, we came out here, started fast, and didn't stop from there.
Really focused on trying to improve late in the year. You know, I'm just happy that everybody was able to play, and you know, we did get a lot of really good efforts early on in the precision and complementary football and all the great things that we need.
So now this came after that Bills loss to the Eagles, that the Patriots are going to play Dolphins next week at Gillette Stadium at 4:25. Eyes also will be on the Denver Broncos game. At the same time, they'll be taking on the Chargers. A Pats win and a Broncos loss, and the Patriots get that number 1 seed. And it's important because number 1 seed means you get a bye.
Get that bye and you get healthy.
Yeah.
I was disappointed the Chargers lost to the Texans yesterday because that would have set up some real drama in Denver next week. Now they just got to go out there and,
By the way, the Texans are good. I mean, their defense is crazy good. And the Chargers, I mean, Justin Herbert's playing with a broken hand.
That's nuts.
Which is weird. He's out there with a cast on, trying to protect himself and then throwing the ball at the same
Everything
time.
is up for grabs.
Yeah.
And, of course, we always check in with Pats fans after a big W.
Because they love it.
Yeah, great to see the greatest bar in Boston packed. Guess who was at the center of conversation?
I'm going to say number 10, Drake May.
I think any team can get lucky in the playoffs and win here and there. To have sustained success, you need the guy, and the guy is Drake May. We have the guy on our team.
He's calm, cool, collected. You see hints of Brady each and every week, and you hear the MVP chants in away games in MetLife in Baltimore. It's been a lot of fun this season.
It really has. Hey, workers at Fenway are going to speak this morning after ratifying a new contract with Aramark. The union representing them says the agreement includes raises, improved gratuities and commissions, and new staffing standards. And that includes having 1 worker at every ID check and beer stand for every 2 machines. The dispute over the contract led to a strike at the ballpark this summer. All right, just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, we'll have another edition of our Best of BZ series. We'll show you what the I-Team discovered when insurance companies used drones to inspect homes without telling the owners.
WBZ's next weather alert is brought to you by Safety Insurance.
Shades of winter right now. We are experiencing a variety here with temperatures close to 40 degrees outside right now, but it's been icy, it's been windy and very chilly. Now today's actually going to be the mildest day. We're in a next weather alert for the slick conditions and icy roadways outside right now. Over the last couple of hours, you'll notice the changes taking place here on our radar. So some portions of southeastern Massachusetts starting to dry out just a little bit, but we still have more rain on the way. And then if you look at southern Vermont and New Hampshire, we're also seeing some signs of mixed precipitation and freezing rain still present. Now in the Boston area, we're done accumulating additional ice for the most part. Things are actually going to take a little bit of a lull here as far as the rain activity goes, and then we'll re-intensify into the afternoon. Looking at our current temperatures, you can really see the profile here where we're cutting off with the freezing rain into southern Vermont and New Hampshire. Nashua at 32 degrees, Keene at 34, and then Boston, Plymouth, South Shore, and the milder side in the low to mid 40s right now. We're going to be headed to highs in the upper 40s today before a big drop in air temperatures heads our way. Now, on top of the icy conditions, the slick roads, you'll want to take it easy in addition to the reduced visibility that we're seeing outside. So some of that rain making it hard to see, and also a bit of fog and that haze outside right now. 40 degrees in Boston with a light wind right now. And once this all clears out, we're going to be left with very windy and cold conditions. I'll take a look at the remainder of the rainfall here for this afternoon. It'll re-intensify into the lunch hour. You'll notice these yellows, these brighter returns. That means some heavier downpours are on the way, some pockets of heavy rain coming up before we start to see this exiting later on tonight. There's a look at 5 o'clock. So the evening commute is going to be a lot better than our morning commute this morning. And then heading into Tuesday, once we go a little on the drier side with cloudier skies, that's when the wind really starts to pick up, and also the temperatures take a huge tumble. These are a look at the highs over the next couple of days. We should be in the upper 30s. About 39 degrees would be average this time of year. So we get close to 50 today. It's actually going to be pretty mild. And then from here on out for the rest of the week and the start of 2026 is going to be off to a very chilly note. Now coming up here along the coastline, we'll see winds starting to increase. This is into Tuesday afternoon. 4 in the morning here, even starts off very windy in the morning hours, even windier for the Cape and Islands. And then Tuesday afternoon is going to be when those winds pick up the heaviest, especially along the coastline. 45 in Boston, even maybe clearing some 50s into Tuesday afternoon for the Cape and Islands. And now we're going to be starting to switch gears once the new year rings in. 3 days away after that on the winter countdown here, Super Bowl in just 41 days from now, and so on. So even though we are onto a cold start for 2026 with temperatures well below freezing, we're starting off with milder temps this morning now. South Yarmouth at 40 degrees, Brewster at 42. So thank you so much to our weather watchers who've migrated over to our new platform and continue to send in those weather tips for us. Here's a look at our 7-day forecast, and there we go with the downright chilly weather, well below freezing on the high temperatures even. We'll go a little drier after today's rain showers into the afternoon, and we'll let go of that next weather alert later on this afternoon, Chris.
How about that, Alyssa? Thank you. All right, now to the Best of BZ, where we revisit some of the most popular and memorable stories of 2025. Well, the I-Team learned insurance companies are using drones to fly over properties they insure without the homeowner knowing, then using the photos to cancel the policies. WBZ Chief Investigator Cheryl Theondakis spoke with the Topsfield woman who was given just weeks to fix an issue or risk losing her coverage.
It was very invasive because they had taken a picture of my house without me knowing, which was really kind of crazy.
Lynn Schuler's homeowner's insurance company sent a drone to spy on her Topsfield property. Weeks later, she got an email with the photo.
They were canceling my insurance. They had showed a drone coming over the house at some point, and there was some tree branches hovering over my house that they wanted removed. I wasn't home because my car wasn't in the driveway.
Lynn says she only had about a month and a half to get the limbs removed, or her policy would be canceled.
I was nervous. I was very nervous. I'm like, how much is this going to cost? And can I find somebody to take these branches down? And plus I was losing branches on beautiful trees.
And that wasn't Lynn's only concern. She worried that it would affect her mortgage if she lost her insurance.
I think it's becoming very, very common.
Consumer advocates say insurance companies are using drone surveillance to get images of the property they are insuring. Those images are then analyzed by AI and computers.
People are getting dropped on the basis of, oh, we see mold on your roof, or we see damaged roof tiles, or there's trees touching your house. Risk factors that insurance companies are increasingly on the lookout for.
And that top branch is the one that was getting close to the roof.
Lynn was lucky and got a tree company to remove the branches fast so she could keep her insurance.
It ended up costing $1,200. I had no choice.
We are pushing for there to be some reasonable limits on insurance companies' ability to take these photos and use them. But of course, insurance companies are pushing back. And the fight is on.
It's a fight that Worcester Representative David LaBeouf brought to the State House.
What will your legislation do for consumers?
It gives you the right, if your homeowner's insurance policy is not renewed because of the use of an aerial image, to actually see that image, to know when it was taken, to have the defects identified, and to create a appeals and cure process.
Lynn says she's all set for this year, but doesn't think she's out of the woods.
I had insurance with this company for the last 12 years with no claims, knock on wood. And, I've been a good customer to them. I'm reinstated for at least a year. I hope that they don't send another drone over.
But Lynn's insurance company could send another drone to check on her property at any time without notifying her. As for the consumer rights bill, that could come up for a vote next year. Cheryl Fiandaga, WBZ News.
Hey, Christmas is over, but the holiday shopping season is still in full swing. Yeah, we've noticed streets packed with shoppers this weekend. They were returning gifts, but also taking advantage of some sales. Post-holiday rush led to long lines at the checkout counter.
Went just to use my gift cards at Ulta, and I was in line for I think 40 minutes trying to get one thing.
It was great. I wanted to exchange a couple of things, get some stuff that actually fit me, and then they had some good sales, so I did some more shopping.
I just love to shop, so the sale just makes it even better.
There you go. Yeah, the Retail Association of America tells WBZ the week between Christmas and New Year's is actually huge for stores. They say impulse buys made during this period can really make or break a store's year. Well, just ahead this morning on CBS News Boston, a call for Celtics fans to vote a popular player onto the All-Star team. Hey, the Celtics have been red hot, but their winning streak was snapped last night. They were in Portland against the Blazers. Jaylen Brown, another incredible game, 37 points, game high. Tied Larry Bird's Celtics record with his 9th straight game, scoring more than 30 points. C's, however, couldn't get it done down the stretch. They lose 114-108. They're going to face the Jazz in Utah tomorrow night. And the Celtics are urging their fans to vote Derek White onto the NBA All-Star team. He's one of 3 players in the East averaging at least 15 points, 5 assists, and fewer than 2 turnovers per game. He also leads all guards in the NBA in blocks per game. To vote, just go to vote.nba.com. All right, coming up next, an iconic New England ice cream spot is losing another location where the latest Newport Creamery is closing down.
You're watching WBZ News.
Hey, there's now one less spot in New England to grab, and another Newport Creamery location is closing. Yeah, the Cranston, Rhode Island spot closed yesterday. The company says the lease was not renewed and the building is set to be demolished. There are now only 9 locations remaining, 7 in Rhode Island and 2 in Massachusetts. Newport Creamery has been around since 1940 and had dozens of locations. Hey, still to come in our next half hour, keeping your pets safe in the cold, some simple things you can do to protect them this winter.
CBS News Boston is now streaming live on our YouTube channel every morning from 7 to 10 a.m. So if you're watching us streaming on YouTube, please like and subscribe to our channel, CBS News Boston. Now, streaming on CBS News Boston, WBZ News Mornings continues with your top stories.
Well, right now on CBS News Boston, icy conditions and an active radar has put us in a next weather alert.
Plus, with 2026 rapidly approaching, we take a look back at the top stories of 2025 and how to keep your pets warm for the winter. Expert tips and good reminders to manage the cold. Welcome back. Thanks for being with us. I'm Chris Tanaka. We're getting a check of your next weather forecast with Alyssa Andrews. Looking outside, Alyssa, rain, the dominant feature today.
That's right. And the rain's going to intensify over the next couple of hours. Really, the lunch hour, we're going to see some of the heaviest downpours today. So as for the commute, it's going to be icy for the morning. We're saying red, take it slow. And then later on this afternoon, we're going to see the rain picking up. But that's also as temperatures go a bit milder. And then we'll see that rain tapering off later on tonight. So it's been active on our radar this morning. We're getting rid of the additional accumulating ice for the Boston area. But still for portions of southern Vermont and New Hampshire, seeing some of that freezing rain. A little closer look into the city right now, and we've got cloudy skies, temperatures in the 40s right now with overcast conditions and also a bit misty out there as well. Kind of hard to see at times. 40 degrees in the city, and temperatures are in the mid 40s for the Cape right now. A little cooler to the north and west where we still see some of those signs of additional freezing rain. 40 right now in Boston, and it's just a tougher commute this morning with the reduced visibility and these heavy downpours. Notice right around the lunch hour, this starts to pick up, intensifying. So we'll get some heavier pockets of rain, heavier downpours before this evening, about 5 o'clock. Things are really going to start to dry out very nicely. Now, that said, we're going to be left with frigid conditions. These are the high temperatures, below freezing for some of the days leading into 2026. And on top of that, very gusty, windy conditions along the coastline and the Cape for the next couple of days as we begin to dry out. So those are a couple of things we're going to go over in our full forecast, especially along the coastline and for the South Shore and Cape. Get ready for a windy and cold stretch of weather ahead, Chris.
All right, Alyssa, thanks for that warning. Well, 2025 began with tragedy, a deadly New Year's Day terror attack in New Orleans. Just about a week later, catastrophic wildfires devastated Los Angeles. As Bradley Blackburn shows us, those were just the start of big national headlines this year.
Deadly flash flooding in central Texas killed more than 130 people in July, including 27 young campers and counselors at an all-girls Christian camp.
When I think about the trauma and fear that our girls endured, it makes me physically ill.
Wildfires in Los Angeles and neighboring areas burned for weeks in January, causing dozens of deaths and massive destruction.
We never imagined something like this happening, wiping out our entire community.
Wildfires during the summer destroyed historic buildings at the Grand Canyon.
Let's roll, let's roll.
A pickup truck plowed into a crowd of revelers in New Orleans on New Year's Day, killing 14 people in what the FBI said was a deadly terror attack committed by an Army veteran.
He was 100% inspired by ISIS.
A gunman opened fire at a Midtown Manhattan office building where the NFL is headquartered, killing 4, including a police officer. 2 Catholic school children were killed in a shooting at their church in Minneapolis.
Calls from Brown University, they're reporting an active shooter.
Police linked a gunman who killed 2 Brown University students during final exams to the murder of an MIT professor. A young couple who worked for the Israeli embassy was gunned down, leaving the Capitol Jewish Museum, and an Egyptian national firebombed a pro-Israel demonstration in Boulder, Colorado.
Both the helicopter and the plane crashed in the river.
In January, a U.S. Army Black Hawk helicopter and American Eagle regional jet collided over the Potomac River near Reagan National Airport, killing 67 people. In November, a UPS cargo plane crashed shortly after takeoff in Louisville, Kentucky, killing 15 people. 10 inmates who escaped from the Orleans Parish Prison were all eventually recaptured after months on the run. Brian Koberger accepted a plea deal in exchange for life in prison for the 2022 murders of 4 University of Idaho students.
You're a delusional, pathetic, hypochondriac loser.
Music mogul Sean Diddy Combs was sentenced to 50 months behind bars after being convicted of prostitution charges, but he was acquitted of more serious charges, including racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking.
These defendants.
The FBI announced the arrests of dozens of people, including current NBA players and a coach, in connection to investigations into alleged betting and poker schemes. It took him 11 years, but Rory McIlroy finally completed golf's Grand Slam when he won the Masters in April, becoming only the 6th player to do it. In hockey, the Washington Capitals' Alex Ovechkin broke Wayne Gretzky's NHL record for most career goals scored.
Splashdown, Crew 9, back on Earth.
Astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams finally made it home after their 8-day mission in space turned into 9 months. And finally, Dictionary.com's word of the year is 6'7". It doesn't seem to mean anything, but that didn't stop kids and teens from making it 2025's viral sensation. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Well, for the first time, we're hearing from the man who stood up to one of the terrorists who committed an anti-Semitic attack in Australia. 15 people were killed at a Hanukkah celebration at Bondi Beach in Sydney 2 weeks ago. While hundreds of people ran away, Ahmed al-Ahmed ran towards one of the 2 gunmen, tackled him to the ground, and wrestled his gun away. In an exclusive interview, he tells CBS News his only focus was saving as many lives as he could.
Everything in my heart and my brain, everything, it's worked, just to manage and to save the people's life. I know I saved lots, but I feel sorry still for the lost.
Al-Ahmed was shot 5 times by the second gunman. He was released from the hospital last week. Hey, close call in Sherburne, a costly garage fire that actually could have been much worse. A police officer on routine patrol spotted the fire on Colonel Isaac Way yesterday morning. A second alarm was struck so firefighters could keep the blaze from jumping to a nearby duplex. Now, the garage was completely destroyed along with several vehicles. Thankfully, no one was hurt, but damage is estimated at about $400,000. And in Winchendon, crews are trying to pinpoint the cause of a fire that burned a barn down. A retired deputy chief took these photos Saturday night. This is Old Center Road. Crews from several surrounding towns kept the flames from spreading to a nearby home by bringing water in tanker trucks. Now, someone was able to open the barn doors so most of the animals inside could actually escape. Hey, it's getting colder outside, and if it's dangerous outside for humans, that means it's also dangerous outside for our pets. Michael George shows us how to keep our dogs and cats safe and warm this winter.
Girl. Mo Hussein just started fostering 8-year-old Princess, and he noticed right away that because she's a short-haired breed, she was more sensitive to the cold.
You can tell when Princess is cold.
Yeah, so you start seeing signs if you're looking. They might curl up a little tighter, or you'll see a little bit of shaking and shivering in the rear legs, things like that.
With temperatures dropping, it's a good reminder that just because our furry friends have fur, that doesn't mean they're safe in the cold.
Cold weather can be very dangerous for animals.
Julie Castle, CEO of Best Friends Animal Society, an animal welfare organization, says anytime it's below 20 degrees, cats and dogs are vulnerable to frostbite and even death.
If it's below 20 degrees, You know, if you have little booties that you can put on your dog's feet, use those.
Animals' paws, ears, and noses are the most vulnerable to cold. You should limit walks outside to the bare minimum. And when you get back inside, check your pet's paws for salt used to melt the snow.
Snow melt can be poisonous to a lot of animals, and so make sure that you wipe their paws, wash their paws off after they get outside from a long walk.
And a warning, even if you're not a pet owner, in the winter, cats often seek out the warmth of a car engine.
So if you're going to get in your car and go somewhere, make sure that you tap on the hood. I even pop my hood just to make sure there are no animals underneath there.
Mo says Princess loves her outdoor time, but he always makes sure she's warm.
Dogs in particular are so stoic. They deal with so much pain without letting you know that anything's wrong, so it's really good to keep an eye on them.
A good reminder that a warm pet is a happy pet. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Hey, not all important games in the NFL are about the playoffs. Two teams yesterday battling for the worst record in the league. Raiders and the Giants from Vegas. What a barn burner. Both teams bottom the heap. Loser could get the #1 pick in next year's draft. Well, the Giants won 34-10, so this means Las Vegas is the only 2-win team in the NFL. They're in line for the top pick in the draft. The Giants would have the 2nd pick. And talk about your head being in the game. Whoa, right after kickoff between the Eagles and Bills, that's Eagles offensive tackle Fred Johnson. He initially ran onto the field without his helmet. His teammates are like, what are you doing? Ran back, grabbed his helmet, sprinted back, and the Eagles eventually would win the game. All right, when we come back, our Steve Burton and 2-time Super Bowl champ Christian Fourier break down the Pats' win over the Jets and whether Drake May and Mike Vrabel both deserve end-of-season awards. Look at Gillette, where there's been a lot of winning, even more winning on the road. The weather, however, a big fat L. Alyssa Andrews is here to tell us all about a rainy Monday ahead.
Yeah, that's right. And once this rain clears out, Chris, we're still going to be dealing with the very windy conditions, and then it is on to the frigid temperatures into the start of 2026. So get ready. We are in a next weather alert right now, but mostly that's for the freezing rain. We've already seen the ice accumulating, and what we're moving on to now is the slick road conditions with breezy, but also a mild Monday ahead for us. Winding and cold conditions coming up for Tuesday, and then it's not going to be as windy for New Year's Eve. We'll get a quick check on our New Year's Eve forecast as well. But for right now, we have to show you this live radar here, active over the last several hours and overnight. We still were adding a little bit of that ice, but the Boston area is starting to stop seeing some of that accumulating ice, and it's just going to be left with slick road conditions. Now, while we might take a bit of a break in activity at the moment with cloudy skies still overhead, this is going to start to pick back up. The rain will intensify again into the lunch hour. But as we're looking at the current temperatures, a little bit warmer and milder, 40 in Boston, and then you see that sharp cutoff right here, 32 in Fitchburg, same for Nashua. That's where we're still seeing areas of freezing rain, and again, slippery all over the place with road conditions. A bit of a mess this morning, and on top of that, we're dealing with a reduction in visibility, so harder to see at times too, in addition to this rain. You can tell here a really good picture outside on our live cam in Boston, 40 degrees in the city with light winds at 6 miles an hour, so not much of a wind chill. But as we get into the afternoon hours, I'd say around lunchtime, we see this rain re-intensifying. We'll have heavier pockets of downpours. Before about 5 o'clock, we'll start to really notice this tapering off. Cape and Island still dealing with some wet weather into the evening hours, and then drier skies ahead for Tuesday and beyond. But that's also when our temperatures take a tumble. These are the highs for the next several days out. Very chilly conditions. In fact, several of our days in our 7-day forecast don't even go above freezing at all. So it's going to be a cold, cold stretch of weather. And then we're going to be dealing with the gusty winds picking up on top of that, especially along the coastline, South Shore, and for the Cape. Notice I have this timer on into Tuesday. So tomorrow morning, 4 a.m., we're already seeing strong winds on the Cape. Coastline seeing winds of 30 plus miles an hour, and those winds get even stronger into Tuesday afternoon. 45 miles an hour in Boston, 52 in P-Town, 52 in Nantucket. It's going to be a windy and cold Tuesday ahead. Hey, our weather watchers have now migrated over to the new system. Thank you so much for continuing to send in those data points for us. And Randolph, 39 degrees, South Yarmouth at 40. So milder conditions for now, but we are on to a very cold start of the new year. For 6 p.m., this is a New Year's Eve. We're going to have chilly and dry conditions, but we could see some flurries into midnight. So rain in the new year on a cold note with a chance to see a few more of those snowflakes. And outside of New Year's Eve, we've got plenty coming up on the calendar here with many holidays right around the corner. Super Bowl Sunday, just 41 days away as well. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast as temperatures going to head into a very chilly zone after Wednesday. Look at that. We stay below freezing all the way through that first chunk of the new year. It's going to be a chilly couple of days there. So just bundle up, be prepared for it. Today's going to be the mildest one yet. All right, we do want to bring your attention to this, the WBZ Next Weather Team. We've launched this new platform we just showed you here for our weather watchers, and all new and current weather watchers, you just have to go over to our website to register. Head over to wbz.com/WWN and just follow the directions there. We are so excited to have you join us for those of you that haven't, and to those that have, thank you so much for migrating over to the new system with us. We are so excited to have you, Chris.
All right, Alyssa, thanks. Hey, the Patriots, AFC East champs for the first time since 2019. They clobbered the Jets, then the Eagles beat the Bills. Our Steve Burton and two-time Super Bowl champ Christian Fourier discuss all of the Sunday fun.
Thank you, Philadelphia Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly. I don't know the rest of it, but good job.
The Patriots did their part. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Buffalo Bills this afternoon. Therefore, the Patriots are AFC's chance for the first time since 2019. Think about the turnaround this team has gone through. 13 losses a year ago, 13 wins this year. They have a chance to get to 14 wins next week when they take on the Miami Dolphins. But hey, case closed.
Yeah, and I would say with one game to spare, like you win the division, and you still have, obviously the number one seed in the AFC is still up for grabs. But I don't know, listen, you can sit there and look at all the different teams out there and all the different new hires that were in this last hiring cycle, and Mike Vrabel is easily at the top, in my opinion. That I think is based on what they were up against, all the things they had to change, injuries, you name name it, right? They lost his defense. He lost his defensive coordinator. He lost his defensive coordinator. Yeah, I think that it's really two people. It's a two-horse race. It's Ben Johnson, and I think it's Mike Vrabel. And I don't think it even matters how the final rest of the games go, especially for the Bears. I don't think it matters. I think that most people probably have their mind made up
already.
Yeah, I think so. I think they've decided to go with Ben Johnson or Mike Vrabel. For me, my money's on, I think the guy that did the best job with everything considered, right, is Mike Vrabel. He should be your NFL Coach of the Year.
And that being said, should Drake May be your MVP of the year?
Well, see, this one's a little bit more challenging, right? Just based on
the numbers he put up today.
Yeah, the numbers are ridiculous, especially for a young player. I don't think you can deny that. But the fact is that he's probably going to be going against Matthew Stafford. That's really the only other viable candidate that I can think of where that is, it's because it's a quarterback award, right? It'll go to a running back every now and then, but it's really a quarterback award, and it usually with a team that's one of the best teams and with the numbers to back it up. But the Rams may not even win their division. So I think that should play into it as well. So right now,
after today's game, Drake May put his name back at the top of the list.
I would say last week, I thought going into this game, he was going to have an opportunity to pad his stats to show like he
started out 11 for 11.
And that's my point. But it was the Jets, and you're like, oh, it's going to be too easy. But it was such a high level of efficiency and just command of the offense. I feel like they're going to weigh that because they look at what the Rams said against the Seahawks in a loss, and look, Matthew Stafford that loss should not be held against him because Stafford showed up. He had over 300 yards passing, a bunch of touchdowns. He was great. It could be you could have NFL Coach of the Year and you could have MVP
on the same team.
Talk about a turnaround.
No question about it. Let's talk about some of these catches these receivers are making because Mac Hollins did not play today. Afton Chisholm came in, did a phenomenal job. Stephon Diggs has been doing a great job all year round, but the catch he made down the sideline was just off the chart.
It kind of reminded you of an all-pro Pro Bowl catch, didn't it? Well, the guy didn't make the Pro Bowl, and I get it, his numbers weren't there. That's fine, but he is an absolute all-pro type receiver, and he keeps making plays of impact. Some people look at him and say, well, there's not enough receptions, there's not enough yards. Doesn't matter. What type of player would you like to be in the NFL? Would you like to be a production numbers guy or an impact clutch guy in games that matter, Steve? Right? For third down plays that actually make a difference. That's who I would, if I had the option. The numbers are great, but I want to be remembered for something a little bit more than that.
Drake May threw 5 touchdown passes to 5 different receivers. Between Hooper and Stevenson and Hunter Henry, Diggs, Chisholm, Chisholm.
There was he had more touchdowns than incompletions.
Think about that.
And then the one incompletion that broke his streak was to Kyle Williams. It was a perfect throw. The dude just dropped it. That would have drove me nuts. But you know what? No big deal. We're not going to hold it against them. Listen, there wasn't much pushback by the Jets. Granted, still not their problem. Not the Patriots' problem. We used to say it all the time. It's not our problem that you're not very good. And we're not going to be easy on you just because your coach isn't as good and your talent isn't as good. Not our problem. This isn't Pop Warner football. This isn't Little League baseball, right? This is big boy football, so nobody's feelings should get hurt.
Ooh, there you have it. All right, coming up after the break, the final episode of Stranger Things is going to be released this week. We'll tell you about the eye-popping numbers the series has already hit.
You're watching WBZ News.
Hollywood has high cinematic hopes for 2026. Plus, an elusive artist is helping turn a hotel into a tourism-worthy museum. Gwen Baumgartner has your Eye on Entertainment report.
With the new year just 3 days away, movie theaters are gearing up for a star-studded 2026. Highly anticipated films like Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey and The Devil Wears Prada 2 come out in the middle of next year. Film critic Jake Coyle expects sci-fi to dominate the big screen.
You've got Project Hail Mary, you've got Dune 3, you've even got a Star Wars movie for the first time in a while. So, you know, there'll be a lot of outer space journeys in the year to come.
Hey, Luigi! The Super Mario Galaxy movie will be released in April. Days after anonymous street artist Banksy unveiled his latest piece, a hotel inspired by his work announced its reopening in Bethlehem. The Waldorf Hotel is filled with graffiti and artwork from the famed artist. Employees say it's not just a hotel, but a museum and artistic platform for tourists to enjoy. On Wednesday, the final episode from the hit series Stranger Things will be released.
He's planning to end our world.
Netflix reports that the 5-season series has already garnered more than 1 billion views on their streaming site. The show's popularity is undeniable, with Season 5's premiere week being the most successful for Netflix when it comes to English language shows. That's your Eye on Entertainment. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Hey, thanks for streaming CBS News Boston. I'm Chris Tanaka. Be sure to stay with CBS News Boston throughout the day for updates on breaking news and your next weather forecast.